Good evening, guys. Just a quick little in-between project. I'm helping a friend to make quick two picture frames out of what I think is mahogany. I don't have a fancy Festool miter saw. We would all like to have it. I also don't have a T-track system on my bench. And I'm quickly going to show you how to set up a very basic miter saw to get this done. So guys, this is my Metabo miter saw. A very good saw, and it's given me very good service for many years. As you can see, it needs some love and attention, but this machine works very hard. So over the years, when they knew there's not so much play on it, but in this case mine, I don't know if you can see the indicator there. If you move it a little bit, there's a bit of play in it. So what I do is I put it on 45 until the positive lock. I tighten down the screw, and then I do a test cut. So I've set up my digital square just to show you. I don't know if you can see that. In the bottom corner there's still a bit of a gap. So let's see if we can fix that up. So as you can see, the tip of the cut must come a little bit back. If you release these machines, especially the one as old as mine, if you give it a bit of a nudge and then tighten it, then give it a cut. Let's see what it does. Guys, I had to make another adjustment and another test cut, and the results really not bad. That's as close as I'm gonna get it. And now we can make a picture frame. As you can see, a very simple stop block, clamp and a scrap piece of wood, just to make sure that all your rails and all your stiles are exactly the same length. That helps a lot. 2mm to 3mm will definitely make a difference in your frame. Well guys, as you can see, I use an old Formica top, old kitchen top, for a nice flat surface, because my workbench is everything but flat currently. The miters came out nicely. They're all closed up, as you can see. And it's very nice and square. Simple old frame clamp. I will leave that a few minutes in the glue, then glue up the other one. Then tomorrow I'll just use my homemade or my DIY sled that I made on the table saw, and I'll put some splines on every corner for some extra strength, and then the job will be done. I hope this helped you and showed you that with a basic old saw you can still make quite a good miter. Something I neglected to mention in the beginning of the video: before you start setting up your miter angles, you must first make very sure that your blade is 90 degrees to your bed. If you don't do that, you're going to end up with, your miter might be nice, but on the ends you might sit with the camber. So please make sure first you're 90 and then you're 45. Okay guys, as I mentioned, we're going to finish up the frames quickly. We're going to cut some splines just to reinforce the miters, and then a bit of sanding, then this job will be done. I hope everyone had a better week than me. I was bit by something, so it wasn't a nice week. I think it's a spider or something bit me on the kidney, and I've cut my fingers. It just was a horrible week. Not a nice week, so hopefully next week will be better. Hang on to the end of this video. I will tell you about our new project that we're going to start next week. Something different for the little woodshop. The jig I'm going to use to cut the slits is a simple little jig that I saw glued together. It's a quick 5-minute jig that I built just with a proper 90 degrees. And I'll show you how it works. As you can see guys, the blade is quite far out and it's quite a dangerous cut, so please, if you do something like this, keep your fingers far away. And the end result is a nice little slit that we're going to glue a biscuit in just to reinforce the joint. Just a quick tip guys, if you work with something like this, I just eyeballed the distance so that I cut the slit approximately in the center of the frame. So always keep the same side towards the fence when you do something like this, in order to keep the slots in line. A piece of white oak, basically for the stability and strength, and also for a little bit of contrast. As you see, I just shoved it through the drum sander to get it to a nice snug fit, not too tight, enough place for some glue. So now I'm going to cut it up, glue them in, and then sand it. That's the picture frames now done. The customer wants to do the sanding and finishing himself. So the miters didn't come out too bad. A little bit of filler here and there, a little bit of sanding, and they will be perfect. Both of them are now done and ready for the customer. Guys, as promised in the beginning of the video, next week's project will be this beautiful yellow wood tabletop. I removed it from the base The customer wants us to build a metal base for it, color coated black. We already got, my buddy Kunrad got us the metal, 100 by 100 square tubing for the legs, 25 by 75 rectangular tubing for the base frame. We're going to build a very nice base, taper the legs. Definitely a challenge. I'm not very fond of metal work, but I love challenges as well. So next week, this will be the project.